Hello, craft beer friends, and welcome to Season 9, Episode 21 of Tap to Craft Podcast. I am Denny Luce, coming to you from Boise, Idaho, and my partner in craft, the Dog Whisperer, and my favorite Florida man from Tampa, Florida, Mr. Kris McKenzie. How are you doing tonight, Kris? And of course, tell me what is in your glass.
Well, minus our minor technical difficulties that if you check out our Facebook post just before this show started, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. My shirt was washing out behind my green screen, so it didn't matter if it was blue or green behind me or even gray. My head was floating, and all you could see, which not a bad thing, all you could see was the logo that was on my shirt, which it's still there.
Yeah.
But, you know, my head's not floating or anything, so I think we're okay.
You're good. You're good.
But everything is good here, Denny. Just enjoyed the day, ran some errands, got to enjoy a little bit of sunshine, got some laundry done, you know, it was a busy day, but it was productive. It's a productive day. So in my glass tonight is a beer that I have had on the show before. It is Tupac Shaporter from Ivanhoe Park Brewing right here in Florida. They're just outside of Orlando. But, you know, this was definitely a beer that can art sold me. Mm-hmm. So, but it's a delicious beer. I think this is the second 4-pack that I've bought. And it's still a good solid beer to enjoy. And yeah, great artist on the can too.
Tupac
Shaporter. What about you, sir? How's your day going, and what's in your glass?
It's going good. We're summer's spring or summer, what do you want to call it? It's hit. We're back in the 80-degree days. I guess that's spring. Not quite 100-degree weather like it is in summer, but yeah, it's crazy weather, but it's summer. I finally turned on my AC today.
Okay.
The house got up to 85 last night, and I had trouble sleeping. So this morning I said, okay, the AC is going on. So I turned the AC on, and we did have the windows open. So all that hot air, you know, has been coming into the house, but it's nice to have some fresh air every so often.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing good. What's in my glass though? I'm drinking the same thing that was in my glass last episode at this time. Sierra Nevada's Summerfest refreshing summer lager. And I'll tell you what, I really am enjoying the Summerfest this year. I don't know what they changed. It has just been a go-to beer for me. After the show, I had a 6-pack. I think I finished off a 6-pack when we were on the air. I went to the store to get more. They had a sale for 12 packs of these cans for $15.99.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, I could get a 6-pack for $11.50 or a 12-pack for $15.99. Yeah, thank you. I'll grab that 12-pack. And guess what? This is my last one of those. I love this beer. Great summer beer. I cannot recommend it more for someone that enjoys a crispy lager.
A crispy boy.
A crispy boy. Great flavor. It has some citrus hop character to it too. Not strong, but just in the background that just accentuates that malt and just makes it really, really good. So we're drinking this because we'll be drinking another lager a little bit later in the show that we'll talk about in just a minute. So you ready to get the show started, Kris?
As ready as I'll ever be. Hopefully my head doesn't float.
Well, let's do it. But you know what? Before we get this too far into the show, we always want to let anyone new listening to Tap to Craft Podcast know what we're all about. We are an educational podcast focused around celebrating all things craft beer because we want to help you, our listener, along in your craft beer journey and adventures. And you are listening to episode 229, recording on Monday, May 1st, 2023. Happy May Day. And we are live on Facebook. If you would like to join us during our recording session sometime, you can do that by looking for our show post on the Monday before the show releases at 8:30 Eastern Time on Facebook. So join us, interact with us. We love interacting with our listeners and our followers. So yeah, and in this episode, we are going to learn about drinking beer while keeping in mind and maintaining, keeping in mind the maintenance or maintaining of a healthier lifestyle. Hey, can you enjoy beer and also, not have it affect you as bad? Maybe. We'll see. We'll find out when we talk about our Brew Buzz. And we will be doing another tasting of a Wisconsin beer from Giant Jones Brewing, provided by one of our great listeners, Mr. Bill Schlemmer. We really enjoyed this beer last episode.
That was
Will
really
we
good.
enjoy? I gotta bust it out. This beer, this episode.
Wait, you mean this beer?
Yes, that beer.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So yeah, we're looking forward to trying out this dark Weizenbock.
I'm gonna let that sit out for a little bit.
Yeah, I probably should let mine sit out too, but I'll pull it out in a minute.
Well, Jim Kudzall said he's drinking a London pub ale homebrew, so that's always nice to have on tap.
Nice. Okay, and of course, you can count on Kris and I having some great conversation as well. And Kris and I would like to thank all of our Patreon supporters, because this episode is brought to you in part by our satisfied Patreon supporters like Mike Allen, Bill Schlemmer, Amanda and Kevin Argauer, Mark Reedy, Mike Blanchard, Tara Carlson, Jim Kutzel, and Alex Fuchs, who are our virtual producers. And Tom Byrne, Jeff Seiler, Johan Halberg, Chad Lamassa, Mark Church, and Eric Gronley, who want to buy us a virtual beer. If you enjoy the content we provide, we invite you to support the show by toasting your host or buying us a virtual beer or even becoming a virtual producer. You can explore the options on our support page by visiting patreon.com/tapthecraft. And we had some feedback. Now, we've had some feedback over the last couple episodes, and I'm not very good at pulling this stuff out. I tried to find some of our related comments about our Marker 48 brewing episode, because a lot of people commented in different forums about how much they enjoyed this episode. And so we're going to start off our first feedback from our Patreon supporter, Mark Reedy. He sent us an email. He said, the Marker 48 brewing episode guests were fantastic, and the questions asked kept me fully engaged. Normally, I don't get too excited to hear interviews from breweries I'm not familiar with, but this one makes me want, in capital letters, to become familiar with Marker 48 Brewing. Wow, fantastic, Mark. Thank you for that feedback. That's the way I feel too. I mean, I enjoy finding out about breweries that I've never heard of, and because once, when you find out about them, you might discover that this is a brewery that you are really excited about and want to go visit. That's why I do listen to quite a few brewery interviews, because you never know when one brewery owner or just kind of hits a nerve with you and he's like, wow, I really want to support these people because I like what they do. And that's exactly what Marker 48 did. Just wonderful, wonderful people and community. And I'll do one more here. Chatham also commented on our Discord server about our Marker 48 episode. He said, good episode, boys. Love when you have brewers on. Well, thank you, Chad. And Kris, why don't you go ahead and read Chad's other post?
So Chad also posted on our Discord server. He said, so if we go by most check-ins, and this was our last episode, right? Yeah. Our previous episode was our favorite K breweries. And he said his favorite K brewery is Key Brewing in Baltimore, Maryland. He said, however, they just make okay beers. Nothing spectacular, but nothing bad. Plus, the brewery is in a really strange place that looks like it would be the perfect place to leave a dead body. Chad, if it's over by the Key Bridge, anywhere over there is a good place to leave a dead body. So it won't be found. You'd leave a dead body, so it won't be found. I think my favorite K brewery is probably KCBC, just for the can art and pop culture references alone. They are fairly new to Maryland, though, so I've only had 4, but I will pick up more when I see them. I don't blame him, because I had some from them a couple days ago.
Have you? Yeah, because I've seen you. You and Jeff Seiler and and Chad all posting, the can art of the brewery, and they are some really cool can arts and things that I appreciate as well. And I from what I understand, the beer is good too, right?
Yeah. The one that I had, it had something to do with Lord of the Rings, the Middle Earth movie.
Yeah,
It was called Middling Earth, is what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was an ESB, and it's not a beer that I see a ton of. So, and I'm a fan of them, so I always grab it. And then, of course, the label art, like Chad was talking about, I did post that on our Discord server. Also, look at me.
Look at you.
I put that on our Discord server. I also probably put it on our Instagram and our Facebook. But just a really cool can art. I mean, it has a lot of the characters from Lord of the Rings on it. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, so if I misspeak, don't go after me. But funny enough, Smeagol, the little guy that's my process, was characterized as Donald Trump. No, I don't care who you. I don't care who you vote for. That's just awesome. It was so good, and I did save the can. I'll be putting that on a magnet here soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, fantastic. If you want to be like Mark and send us an email, you can do that through Gmail at taptocraft@gmail.com, our email server there. And if you want to be like Chad and leave us some comments on our Discord server, you can find a link on the top of our website at taptocraft.com, or you can just go ahead and type in your browser or your phone linktr.ee/taptocraft. That's our Linktree site, and it has links to all of our social medias and emails and different apps you can find the podcast on. And we have a link to our Discord server there as well. But if you would rather leave a voicemail
and be really awesome
and be super cool, you could be like Eric Gronley and leave us a voicemail at 208-536-3359. And if that's too many numbers for you to remember, how about 208-53-ODDLY? Pick up that phone and give us your feedback, comments, whatever you want to do. We appreciate it. So are you ready to go ahead and play Eric's voicemail?
Yeah, here we go.
Let's hear it. Let's do it.
Hey guys, it's Eric Brownlee from Minnesota checking in. Been a while, and listening to a handful of the last episodes. I heard the call going out about voicemails, so I wanted to call back in and say hey. I got not really feedback, but a compliment. Really enjoyed the last episode with Mo and Tina from Marker 48. They just really seem like cool people who built a cool place and are making cool beer, and it'd be fun to go and check that one out if I'm in the area. And I'll look you up, Kris, when I do that. Not if, when.
Nice.
I wanted to tell you guys about a new noteworthy beer that I had recently. The Waldo Special Ale. I finally found it. Only been hunting for it for like 6 years, maybe longer. I can't remember. It's been so long, but finally found it and was able to cross that off my bucket list. It was just it was very much a special ale, very much a treat of a beer. Let's see. This weekend I was doing some laundry getting, just piles and piles of laundry, and I was putting on old shows and just listening to those, which kind of brought back a lot of great memories listening. One of the ones that I kind of got really tuned in and had to stop laundry on was the Maibach episode from, I think it was like May 2020. Really enjoyed that, and got me kind of looking forward to those beers again. So one of the breweries around here, Omni, which is about 10 miles from my house, they recently did a Bock Fest on one of the last weekends with a bunch of different varieties. So I think I'm going to go head there this week and check out what they have to offer, and I'll report back. Have a great show, guys. Bye.
Wow. Great voicemail, Eric. A lot of fantastic things you had to say. And again, reiterating the fact that Marker 48 brewery episode was really enjoyed by a lot of our listeners. I really appreciate you giving feedback. I know that Tina and Mo will also appreciate the feedback, as well as their listeners who are probably listening right now to this episode because they tuned in after that episode. They are now subscribing to the show. You mentioned Lagunitas, Waldo's Special Ale. Perfect timing to hit it up during 420. It's all about that dank IPA or Special Ale. And I went ahead, in case people aren't familiar with it, I went ahead and put the little blurb that they have on their website here. It says, the dankest and hoppiest beer ever brewed by Lagunitas. This is the one, made in honor of the origins of 420, a triple IPA, with the help of the Waldos themselves. In 1971, the Waldos met one afternoon at 420 in the front courtyard of their school near the statue of Louis Pasteur. They set out in a 1966 Impala armed with a treasure map on a journey to find a secret garden near Point Reyes. They met there at the same time every day and continued their quest. They've never found the secret garden, but they keep looking. So we keep brewing this beer every year in time for 420. For all the treasure hunters everywhere, it's 11.7% ABV, over 100 IBUs. Yeah, I've had this beer a few times, and I'll be honest with you, it's a big beer.
Yeah.
It's not an easy one to drink, like a 6 or 4. Well, I think it's selling in 4-packs, but that's a tough beer to drink at 11.7%. It's a big IPA.
Yeah, but the blurb about it sounds like a Cheech and Chong movie.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. But I'm glad that Eric, you were able to get that off your bucket list. I know how important it is to to get these beers that you only dream about having finally marked off, and you can just forget about it until next time you happen to come by it. If you can have more than one, so that's even better. But at least you get one check off. That can make your whole beer list right there. And also, Eric, you mentioned going back and listening to old episodes. Hey, we appreciate that because our episodes, most of them are timeless. Sure, we do talk about maybe some current things, some current news or whatever on some of the episodes, but for the most part, they're educational, and the education will last year after year after year, even back to 2020. And why not celebrate May by listening to our Maibach episode 152, if you want to go back and enjoy that episode like Eric did. We really appreciate that. So thank you, Eric. We really do appreciate getting voicemails.
That was almost 100 episodes ago.
I did. No doubt. Yeah, we put out 26 episodes a year, every 2 weeks, guaranteed on a Thursday, every bi-weekly. We haven't missed this episode in 9 years.
Fingers crossed. We always find a way to make it happen. I'll give us that much.
We make it happen.
Yeah. Or if it's, hey, you want to record on Sunday or Tuesday? I can't do Monday. Yeah, we figure out a way.
We do. Okay, Kris. Now let's continue the conversation because it is time to untap the craft and see what our listeners are drinking according to Untapped.
So I want to know what everybody is drinking right now. So if you guys leave us a comment in the feed, in the comments on our live feed here, let us know what you're drinking there. I'll see if I can't get them in between some check-ins here. But if you want us to read your check-ins on Untapped, make sure you're following me at MCK1345. And we read your check-ins approximately 24 hours before we record our episodes. So we are going to start here with Mr. Matt Knight, and he is drinking a Zombie Ice by Three Floyds Brewing. And he said nothing like drinking a zombie themed beer while playing a creepy ass video game. Give it 4 1/4 caps for this one, drinking out of his Legend of Zelda glass, and it looks like he's playing Inscription. I'm not too familiar with that game, but I think I just screwed up my list.
Oh, no.
I did.
Oh, come on, man.
Listen,
you're a professional.
Even a professional screws up every once in a while, okay? Jeez, get off my back. Almost there. There we are. Next on the list, looks like Alex Fuchs is drinking an After the Storm by Hatch at the B7 Beerhouse. No notes, but a 4-cap rating for that one. He's also checked into a New Zealand Red by New Pioneer Brewing Company. He gave it a 5-cap rating. Didn't leave us any notes about it, but still a 5-cap rating. Mr. Art Warcheck in Akron, Ohio, is drinking a Through My Lens Orange Juice Box by Hightower Brewing Company, checking in at the Giant Eagle Portage Crossing Market District. He said it's like drinking a fountain Starburst soda. No cap rating on that one, though. Bill Schlemmer checking into The Straits Between by Barrel Beam for a rye barrel-aged beer, not picking up any rye notes, and no hints of barrel aging. Not bad, but expected more range of flavors. Yeah. Comes across as slightly lemony. 4-cap rating for that one from Bill. And then next on the list, David Martin. Well, a KCBC beer. He's drinking a Superhero Sidekicks by KCBC,
I've seen that
which is the Kings County Brewers Collective. Looks at Five Forks Brewing. No notes, but a 4-cap rating to go along with it. Mr. Jeff Seiler. This is going to play in just perfectly for today. Drinking an Iyengar Maibach from 2023, and he's drinking this at home, and it's May Day, he says, so let's drink a Maibach, or May Goat, if you want to translate it. And this is the best Maibach I've ever had. It's sitting in a bed of wild leeks, or ramps, as they're called, that are a spring edible in the mountains here. So good. 4.5 cap rating for that check-in. I'll go ahead and toast that one too, because not only does it sound like a delicious beer, but it's a great picture too.
Yeah.
Bill Schlemmer again, drinking a Talking with Dinosaurs by Hacienda Beer Company. Taster courtesy of Adam the manager. Oh, well, thanks, Adam.
Yeah, thanks, Adam, for hooking up our buddy Bill.
Right? It's not sweet. That's good. A little roastiness up front with coffee dominant, followed by cocoa. Tasty. So 4-cap rating on that beer. Let's see. Who is next on my list? Mr. Eric Gronley, checking into an American Pastry in London by 903 Brewers. And he writes, he writes, fact, if you're having a tough day and you drink this beer, all your worries are gone. It starts off with deep, rich chocolate, almost French silk pie-like. Then each layer of flavor follows nicely. Graham cracker, peanut butter, and toffee. Well done. 5-cap rating for that beer. That does sound delish.
And Eric, what a great job describing the experience, because I was right there with you with the chocolate silk pie. I'm like, oh, yeah, it sounds good. And then rolling right into other flavors.
And Dan Charlie's starting to sing 99 bottles of beer on the wall. Thanks, Dan.
Hey,
I missed you too, buddy. Missed you, buddy. David Martin checking into one of my favorites, Red Puffs by Angry Chair Brewing. No notes, but a 4.5 cap rating on that one. Mr. JC checking into a Beaky Blinders by, guess who, Denny? KCBC.
Oh, wow. This beer.
Everybody's coming out of the woodworks with their KCBC. No notes to go along with it, but 4.25 caps for that check-in. David Martin is also doing a lot of checking in today.
Well, good for him.
He's right here in the Tampa area, like a Pseudo Sue by Toppling Goliath, or a Cluckwork Orange by KCBC.
A Cluckwork Orange. Nice.
Yeah. All right. So, and there's one more. Here it is. Chad Lamassa drinking a Tiramisu Lander by KCBC. I'm starting to see a trend on everybody's check-ins tonight. So awesome can art, and tiramisu is my favorite dessert. This has all the flavors. This is 12%, but Drink's more like an 8%er. Either way, Chad, it sounds like it's going to be a good time. 5 cap rating to go along with that one from Chad. And then another one from Jeff Seiler, drinking a cabbage by Other Half Brewing Company. I decided to drink my vegetables tonight. I love cabbage, boiled, steamed, fried, stuffed, slaughtered, and with corned beef. And now liquid cabbage. Amazing stuff. 5 cap rating to go along with that one.
5 caps.
I don't know. Are we just throwing them out? We've got KCBC all over the place, and then we got 5 cap ratings everywhere. We've got, this one from Robert. Chew your beer. Is drinking a Victoria Vicky Chamoy by Grupo Modelo. Didn't think I would see a rating this high from a brewery like that.
Yeah. So
crushable. He said, I would totally pick up Moss. And he gave it 4 3/4 cap rating for that one. We'll have to get this one too, just because it's just kind of going along with everybody's just great check-ins tonight. Chad Lamassa drinking a Little Treasures by Vitamin C Brewing. This is tasty, juicy, and crushable. 4.5 caps. And Chad, I'd be willing to bet that the label art got you on this one too, because the little picture we got there, I'd buy it for the label. Let's see. Moving on up the list. We'll have to refresh after this one, but Matt Knight is drinking a Brewer Series Helles by Genesee Brewing Company. Beer,
Helles is out.
Wings, and watching the Mando. 4 1/4 cap rating for that one. And let's see. We've got David Martin checking into an NRBAGG or In Our Bag by Great Notion Brewing. No notes, but a 4 1/4 cap rating to go along with that one. And that's what everybody is drinking.
Wow. Very nice drink. Untap the Craft segment there. A lot of KCBC.
Really?
Maybe, Kris, we need to get them on the show. They seem to be the hot new thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's drinking them.
Yeah, I believe they're based out of New York.
Are they? Okay. All right.
Dan Charlie wants to know, who are these self-proclaimed cappers? Dan, I thought you said you were going to bed, man. Night night.
It's a little early for him to go to bed, right?
I don't know. I mean,
he's probably just getting ready to go out and party. Get that fried chicken.
Oh, you would go see Babu.
See Babu. He's probably still at the office.
Dan, tell Babu we said hello.
He's probably got his tall boys of what were they always drinking? Those tall boys, those big kids.
It was a Sierra Nevada, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was it
Hazy Little Thing?
Yeah, maybe it was Hazy Little Thing. Whatever they were, but they'd always be drinking those when we first started the show. Memories.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, well, hey, let's get into our beer tasting segment. And yes, we are drinking the next beer. This is the second to last beer that our great listener, Bill Schlemmer, provided to both Kris and I to drink and share on the show and do our own tasting notes of it. And this is the Giant Jones Dark Weizenbock. And again, Giant Jones is out of Madison, Wisconsin. This is an 8.9% ABV. And I love the fact that they write it on the side, because they actually keep track of each batch and put the exact ABV on there. They aren't joking around. 8.9% ABV on Untapped. This beer gets a 3.84 rating with over 600 ratings. So, hey, should be a decent one.
Dan said Bangers and Babu. It's a segment.
Yeah, Bangers and Babu. And what this says on the side of the bottle here, it says Rhea flows between yeast-derived warm spices and lush malt with lively carbonation and a dry finish, presenting a balanced whole. And it says there's clove aromas lead to rich bready malt and banana complexity. Well, let's just see if that is true or not, because I don't know. Let me see if I can taste bananas in here. Although it is a wheat beer, so maybe I will get some German banana character from the yeast in here. Wow, it didn't pop. I
Yours
hope my
didn't?
bottle's okay. Yeah, it didn't. Although it is kind of steaming out of the bottle here. But let's see. Let me go ahead and see if I get some bubbles in here. Oh yeah, it's bubbling, so it's still got lightly carbonated. Well, maybe not. Definitely not as
I don't
bubbly
know, you
as
just
the
got to
last
pour it a
one.
little harder.
I guess there is a little bit of
That last one from them, though, that one was quite effervescent.
yeah. This one I just have a little bit of bubbles coming up, not so much as that last one. Okay, well, looking at this while we have it up in the light, um, it's kind of a dirty brown.
I think your light's a little different.
Maybe a little red. What's your light saying? It's
So mine's
maybe
a
a little bit
dark amber.
Yeah.
It's tough to tell through the camera, though.
It is tough to tell. It's not completely cleared for sure. It's definitely got some opacity to it. My head didn't last very long. I did have a little bit of head, but I don't think I had that much carbonation in there. But yeah, it's not. I was joking around about the dirty brown. It is an amber, maybe a dark oxidized. Well, oxidized copper would be green.
Green.
Yeah, that would be. It's not green.
Yeah,
But maybe a rich copper.
it's like a dark penny.
A dark penny. Yeah, an oxidized zinc penny, or an old school copper penny.
Yeah, a real penny.
Okay, let's take a whiff of the aroma here. Okay, I do get some wheat and actually I do get some of that banana esters off the yeast.
Mm-hmm.
I also get some sweetness, so it does have a little banana character mixed in with some sweetness as well. That just kind of gives that banana like a super ripe banana character. Almost like it smells like I'm smelling a banana milkshake. Smells pretty good.
It does smell pretty good.
Okay, should we take a drink? Get this thing down our gullet. Wow.
These guys are going to need to start picking beers as a job because damn.
Yeah. This is hard to explain. I'm getting toffee, like a mixture of either toffee or kind of more of that brown sugar.
Yeah, it's like a brown sugar molasses.
Yeah, type character in there, mixed in with that banana esters, mixed in with a little bit of the clove, maybe a little bit of that clove character in there. Not overly strong, but you definitely can feel that in the back of your throat. But man, really, really good beer. And it doesn't come across too sweet. I was afraid when I smelt it,
It
was
started that way.
Yeah, a little bit sweet, but honestly, it does have a little sweetness to it, but it finishes pretty dry, honestly. Definitely not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. I almost get like a little chocolate, wow, there's some flavors I'm just having trouble. There's so much going on. It's like a cornucopia of flavor going on in here. And I get in right after I take that initial sip, it soon turns into a feeling of chocolate rolling around the back of my throat as well.
Yeah.
Along with that brown sugar, caramel flavor, bananas, little clove. It's got a lot of stuff going on here. And they all work really well together. And honestly, I think I'm kind of happy that this beer isn't so effervescent, right? I think if it had too many bubbles, it would take away from some of the complexity and richness that this beer has to offer. It kind of maybe, or maybe not. Maybe I would be afraid it would be too tingly, or if it's too much carbonation, it could be tingly and maybe a little sharp. And it doesn't have that. It has a really well-rounded body. It comes across maybe medium body, a little bit thicker than, kind of as thick as you would expect like a Hefeweizen to come across.
Yeah.
But not as grainy as what you would get with a standard Hefeweizen or a wheat beer. Really, I'd have to say really clean as well, because I can pick out a lot of these different characters. They're not, there's no off flavors, and it's not just all like a bunch of flavors just together. It definitely unleashes itself once you start to take this beer in, and it's really a fantastic beer. Although now I am burping.
There it is. Well, Tanky Tim just hopped on too. Since we got Dan Charlie, we get Tanky Tim too. He said Denny is the David Attenborough of craft beer.
Well,
now, if you could only do it in just an English accent and tell us about all the beer. Funny enough, I was watching a David Attenborough special last night. That's what I used to fall asleep.
Yeah, all right. There we go. Well, Bill, we want to thank you once again for providing Kris and I with a fantastic beer. Hey, Kris, I did all the talking. What do you have to say about this? I obviously you can tell that I'm really enjoying this beer. Are you also enjoying this one?
Yeah, this is all that's left of it. My bottle's empty now.
Yeah, this is all.
I'm right there with you, and I think you hit a lot of points that I do have to it. There is a lot going on. Excuse me, and there comes the bubbles too. There's a lot going on in here. Yeah, but how many different flavor profiles play into this? Because you start to smell it and you get that bubble gum banana.
Yeah, a little bit bubble gum.
Excuse me, clove aromas, and then you taste it, and then you get that sweetness, the molasses, brown sugar, and you get a little bit of kind of that spiciness from that. I guess it's probably from the yeast too. But then it's kind of like a chocolate flavor, and then a little bit of roast, and it's sweet, and then it finishes pretty dry.
Yeah. That's what shocked me the most, is that this beer finishes pretty damn dry. Again, I hate using the generic term of balanced, but it does. I think it does do a really good job of balancing out what could be a pretty sweet beer into something that is just drinkable. And really flavorful, and really good. I really like this beer.
But think about it too. Think about the the beers that you have had that may have started out like this, where you're like, wow, there's all these flavors, and then you're just going, I can't even finish the glass of it because it's so just sweet and syrupy.
Yeah, too sweet or too much, right? Too rich. It has richness to it, but it's not too rich, because again, those flavors are all changing so quickly that you don't get sick of any one of them. It really, man, I cannot believe I hadn't heard of Giant Jones Brewing before Bill sent us these beers.
Yeah,
because these guys are making these girls are making some fantastic beer. Really impressed.
And well, I mean, I guess we probably haven't heard from them or heard about them because, well, they're out of Wisconsin. I mean,
beer doesn't come out of Wisconsin, right? It stays there.
They don't share it as much as a lot of the other states do. So it's I don't know what their rule is, but if this is only, if they're handwriting the bottled on and the ABV on this
small batches.
It's not going out. If it's going out of Wisconsin, it's not going out too much further.
Yeah. Okay. I pulled out the flavor. I was thinking of that chocolate. It's like Tootsie Roll.
Yes.
It's like a Tootsie Roll
Yep.
chocolate flavor, right? That's
You
the
know
kind
what
of
those
chocolate.
taste like? You remember those?
Well, yeah, I'm bringing back my childhood. I haven't had Tootsie Roll in a long time, but
Yeah.
it kind of just clicked. I took that last sip. I'm like, it's Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
That type of chocolate nougat or whatever that is. I don't even know what it is. That's what it kind of has, that little chocolate character that swirls around in there as well. Okay, well, that is our tasting segment. If you have an opportunity of picking up Giant Jones Dark Weizenbock, you know what? You owe it to yourself to go get this beer because it is
Yeah.
fantastic. Really, really enjoyed it. I think I might be 2 for 2 5 cap ratings with Giant Jones beers.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, I gave that last one a 5, and I don't know any reason why I would not give this a 5. Again, getting down to the last bit of my bottle, and I'm still enjoying every sip. So, really fantastic beer. Okay, that's all. I don't want to carry on too long. I guess everyone got the picture. They know how much we enjoy it.
It's just delicious.
Okay, let's get into the Beer Speak 101. This is where we briefly define common and not so common terms in beer terminology. This episode, we didn't do it last episode, and I may have already done this one before, but hey, you know what? I'm going to do it again if I did. We're going to talk about the term of what dry hopping is. We tend to mention dry hopping a lot in our beer, speak. And maybe people out there don't know what dry hopping is. So dry hopping is the addition of hops late in the brewing process to increase the hop aroma of a finished beer without significantly affecting its bitterness. Dry hops may be added to the wort in the kettle, the whirlpool, the hop back, or added to the beer during primary or secondary fermentation, or even later in the process. So it's just one way of getting those hop flavors into the beer without adding additional bitterness. That's what dry hopping is. And like I said, I think I might have done this one before, but it's always good to just reiterate some common terms that people are, throwing around these days.
Well, and that's a good thing about the Beer Speak 101, because like you said, we do 26 episodes a year. I mean, we could go into 26 different, I guess, phrases, words.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 years from now, somebody could be listening to episode 300 and go, oh, I was wondering what dry hopping was.
Yeah, that's true.
So
because they forgot, they didn't get there. Maybe they didn't listen to all the episodes. Like some of our listeners that even go back and like Kris, but at least you did it early on. There's listeners that even like Mark Reedy, right? He's been around for a couple of years now, but he even went back and listened to all the episodes and got caught up. And that's fantastic. I love it when people go back and re-listen. They are, like I said, and plus you get a chance to hear John. John has some great.
He really does.
And some people, a lot of people love our back and forth interaction because he had no problem calling me out when I would say something stupid.
Yeah. And even,
okay.
and he and I, even whether it's, people think it's real or not, he and I like to go back and forth. He and I have this love-hate relationship that it's so much fun, not only to just basically just talk shit with somebody, but also discuss beer and have someone with as much knowledge as he does that actually, knows what he's talking about and does it professionally.
Yeah.
Very
professionally.
Yeah. To just be able to have that knowledge with us. And, I'm sure in like 2 or 3 weeks, you and I are going to get a text message about something.
Hopefully it's the shipping information on a beer that he never sent us.
Oh,
yeah.
He said it, John, not me.
I'm still waiting, John.
Why you gotta be bringing up old stuff?
I open the door, waiting to see if there's a package.
There's no loose cannon at my Denny's door.
No, it's the Luce Church.
Oh, Luce. Oh, yeah, I get. Okay,
it's the new improved version that was made bigger and better than the original. Because Mark Church helped brew it.
I don't know. Maybe one day. I mean, geez, maybe one day I'll even be able to go out and visit them.
We will. We will. As soon as Sarah's health gets back up and she can drink again, we're going to make a trip back to Ohio, and we'll have a get together of another Tap to Craft community get together. We had a great time that last time, and now I'm hoping more people can have an opportunity to join us, and I can buy you all a beer as well. I bought all the beers from everyone that came in that first one. So guess what? If you want free beer, come to our get together.
Come out and visit us.
It's on my tab.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, we're moving right along. It is now time for the Brew Buzz, and the Brew Buzz is devoted to discussing various beer-related topics. And this week, we learn about drinking beer with health concerns in mind. Now, I have been wanting to do a Brew Buzz segment that talks about health, managing your health and drinking and everything, and I just haven't had the time. Life does get in the way. Life is all about challenges, and lately, I think that the challenges have been stacking up high for me for sure, and I think Kris, maybe you've had some challenges that life's thrown your way in the last year or so, and so I haven't had as much time to devote into really digging in and doing some segments. I do apologize. I'm hoping within the next few months things will get a little easier, and I'll be able to get back in and dig deep into some topics. But I did read yesterday, just released yesterday, Sunday, April 30th. There was an article on the USA Today website called "What is the Healthiest Beer? Consider these factors before you crack open a cold one." It was written by Claire Mulroy, and you can find it on the USA Today website. I'll have a link at the end of in the show notes that you guys can follow and read it in whole. But I took a lot of what she had to say in this article and kind of wrote down here, and I put some of my own insight into it as well.
And this couldn't have come honestly at a better time. And it was not only for, how you said, hey, you know what, you're trying to get in, I guess, kind of be a little better. A little better.
Take another sip.
Yeah. These 8.9% ABV. You guys are trying to take care of your health. I just started back into weight training since we moved into this new house. Got myself, a nice set of the Select Tech dumbbells and the weight bench in the garage now. So, and just trying to be more mindful of stuff. And we sit here and we go, okay, hey, we're going to have some beers tonight and chat. And I don't know how you do things, Denny, but usually when I get home, I'll get, I'll usually have to feed my dogs, get them set up for the rest of the evening. So when I'm outside feeding my one dog, Cajun, who, he's got his very own Funko Pop, which is pretty awesome.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's not him specifically, but I tend to find versions of him out there. But I'll stand out there in the driveway and feed him. And, my beer fridge is in the garage right next to my weight bench. So how do you not crack open a beer and just hang out outside for a little bit and take 10 minutes just to stare at the sky or just enjoy a few minutes of quiet while he's eating. So, this couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah. Yeah. So as Kris just mentioned, summertime is around the corner, if it's not already here. And as we all know, refreshing chilled beer is it's great for quenching that thirst. It goes great with barbecues, picnics, and water-related activities. Breweries even begin brewing lighter varieties such as summer ales, like this one right here. This Sierra Nevada Summerfest. I'm going to keep telling you guys, great summer beer. Summer ales and blondes, right? You'll sort of see blonde ales coming out too, because it is a lighter, Kolsch's, blonde ales, lighter beers like that. Knowing that hotter weather might bring an increase in consumption, is there a beer that will be healthier to consume? All right, well, let's find out if there is a beer healthier to consume. Unfortunately, let me drink some more.
Have another sip, Denny.
Beer. Unfortunately, there's no magical beer that's going to fix your health problems or concerns. And according to registered dietitian Kris, it's one of the fundamental components of beer that is giving it an unhealthy glow. And that component is alcohol. Alcohol is one of beer's main draws. It is an ingredient or an ingrained part of social culture all over the world. It's also a toxic substance. Yes, toxic.
Yeah.
Toxic to your poor liver. Excessive alcohol consumption can lead to high blood pressure, cancer, a weakened immune system, cognitive dysfunction, mental health problems, and alcohol dependency. Alcohol reduces our inhibitions after consumption, but it also has stimulant effects that impact sleep. See these bags under my eyes? Maybe I need to cut back on my alcohol, which can affect overall quality of life. So I think the important thing here is to understand that this substance that we all enjoy. The reason we're listening to this podcast is because we enjoy drinking craft beer. We enjoy the consuming of this beverage. Now, do we enjoy it strictly because we enjoy the flavor? Maybe. Or do you enjoy it also because you enjoy the flavor and it gives you that little bit of a buzz that makes you kind of forget all the life experience, things that are going on that are making your life a little bit more difficult? Maybe.
Yeah.
And when we do that, you just got to remember that this alcohol inside this great beverage is also a toxin. So we need to be careful not to drink too much of it and hurt our bodies.
Well, I think really all of this just points out to moderation.
Moderation,
exactly.
Because,
and we've cracked jokes, or we've even read other articles that say things like, "Hey, beer can boost your immune system," right? Remember we even made the joke when I was sick a couple of months ago. I had my first beer and my voice came back. And
it's a miracle.
Yeah. So guys, whether you take the information from here, this was from from USA Today. Yeah. So from USA Today, or you take information that we've read previously, just know, hey, there is definitely pros and cons to what we're talking about right now. You can definitely find supporting information that will tell you the exact opposite of this article. Almost. Just do it in moderation.
Yeah.
Do it in moderation.
Yeah.
And if you notice that these things are the I guess either symptoms or effects are popping up, okay, well, cut the beer out for a little bit. Make sure you're good before you drink right along with us, because there was a couple weeks ago I didn't have a beer for 2 whole weeks.
Wow. I've also gone. I mean, I've mentioned on the show that there's times like when I'm sick, I don't drink, right? I need my body to be 100% to fight off whatever is going on, because again, the alcohol will affect your immune system to be able to fight off the stuff you need. If it's fighting off if it's fighting off the toxins in your liver instead of other stuff, that's not good. So
yeah. All right. So we can step down off our soapboxes now, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it doesn't matter where the alcohol is coming from. What matters is the overall alcohol. Or the overall alcohol. The ABV. Yes. More says the healthiest beer, then, according to Moore, is one that has the lowest ABV or alcohol by volume. A standard drink of regular beer, according to the National Institute on National. Excuse me. You remember how it said in the beginning of it there was cognitive dysfunction as one of the effects? We're there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're certainly there. A standard drink of regular beer, according to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, is a 12-ounce beer that contains 5% alcohol. But a quick trip to the beer aisle can have you buying a 6-pack with upwards of 8% ABV, or some as high as 18%.
Yeah.
Or what we like to call 120-minute IPA, worldwide stout.
Yeah, worldwide stout.
Or if you're really up for it, the Sam Adams Utopias, which is even higher.
Yeah.
You think you're drinking one beer, but you just had 2 drinks in 1 can. That's very true. I did. Almost. That was a 16-ounce can. And this was a what? A 500 milliliter bottle. So 16.9 ounce bottle. So yeah. But you just had 2 drinks in 1 can. The past decade century, the hell is a decade century?
I think I might have made a mistake.
All right.
Okay.
In the past decade, we've seen the rise of, quote, health beers that boast electrolytes, antioxidants, and key nutrients. Don't be fooled, Morse says. Most of this marketing is language to get consumers to justify their alcohol consumption. Now, what okay, Kris Moore, just so you guys know, if you didn't remember, he is a registered dietitian. So I don't know, knows what he's talking about. At least let's just say this. He can pass a pretty difficult test. Whether he knows what he's talking about or not, we don't know. If beer is our source of antioxidants and nutrients, then we have a lot of other issues we need to consider. Moore says
that right there is a solid statement.
It's a great line. You should almost put that on a t-shirt. If beer is our source of antioxidants and nutrients, then we have a lot of other issues we need to consider. Moore said that laughing, which is good. Because man, I am too. There are a few beers that are fortified with various ingredients, but I certainly wouldn't turn to beer as my choice of nutrition. That doesn't mean you have to give up beer or alcohol in general to live a healthy diet, Moore says.
But it's not a salad.
BS.
It is a salad?
It has hops. Hops is a green leafy.
Okay. So I can count this as one of my green leafy vegetables.
Well, it depends. Is it dry hopped? Is it fresh hopped? Is it pellet hopped? Is it cryo hopped?
Yeah,
we're nerds. We are some nerds. Jesus. Okay. All right. It doesn't mean you have to give up beer or alcohol in general to live a healthy diet, Moore says. Though there are certainly health benefits to sober lifestyles. Low calorie and light beers are healthier options. They're generally made with more water than standard beers to cut down on alcohol content. But not everyone likes the taste of light beers. That's why you should go to Marker 48. Try out their Marker Light.
Marker Light, yeah.
Moore says those lighter beers give you an opportunity to evaluate why you're drinking it in the first place. If you want to have a beer sometimes, he says.
Yeah. So I think that's what a lot of people in the last 5 years, maybe even last 8 years, they started focusing on the lower calorie beers like the Michelob Ultras
right,
and such, right? The under 95 calories or whatever that is. And we've mentioned on the show many times, there's craft beer alternatives that are under 100 calories and have good flavors. And my favorite, nutritional diet beer is the North Coast Scrimshaw Pilsner.
Good choice.
I love that beer and I drink it all the time, and it does have great flavor, but also is lower on the calories, and lower on the alcohol. So it, you can enjoy a beer and not just, overdo it. So there are, and like Kris just mentioned, the Marker Light. I think that one is around a 5%, right? Or 4.5.
It's I think it's 4.6, 4.8. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the calories are in it, but again, a great tasting beer that's going to be, lighter. If it's a lighter beer, so it's going to be lighter in calories, hopefully. Hopefully it's not too heavy calorie. But you can get some good alternatives, right? Don't have to suffer through drinking horrible tasting beer because you want to, get those lower calories. You can drink some good beer and get the lower calories as well. So pay attention, look around, do some research. If you can get North Coast Scrimshaw Pilsner, that's a fantastic beer, lower calorie, great option. Okay.
Well, it'd give you a quick idea, like a 5% ABV beer, and this is just a quick check online. It's going to run you about 150 calories.
Okay. Yeah. So above 100 for the most part.
And that's a 12-ounce beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just, a lot of these let's be clear.
A lot of these are 16 ounce now. Like even that Scrimshaw now, it comes in 16 ounce cans. So you get a 6-pack of 16-ounce cans.
So you're about
And
200 calories then.
Yeah. So well, I don't know about 200 because the 12-ounce option was 100 calories back. So I'm guessing that the 16 ounce is not that much, 120.
So there's kind of it's not really a calculator, but it's kind of like a spreadsheet. So it says like, Tina from Marker 48. Hi guys, not exactly sure what our calorie count is on the Marker Light. I would have to ask the brewers.
Tina, thank you for joining us.
So it says a 5% beer is gonna sit at about 13 calories per ounce.
13 per ounce, really? Well, that's in general, yeah. But I think there's ways that they can control that as well.
I'm sure they can, but let's move on to the rest of it.
Okay, so is one beer a day good for you? Of course it is, right? It's gotta be, right?
It's gotta be. It's good for your mental health, which goes against the article already. Yeah, remember we talked about silica, the antioxidants that are in there.
Antioxidants,
right?
Yeah, it's got water, so it's mostly water, right? That's good for you. Some yeast, it's going to get some probiotics in you.
I always joke with Tina and tell her I drink water, I drink beer and coffee.
All right, so the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, and Prevention defines moderate drinking as no more than 1 drink for women, and we get 2 drinks.
Oh, this article's sexist already.
There has been some research suggesting a lower risk of diabetes for frequent drinkers compared to those who didn't drink. And one study found favorable effects on HDL function. Oh my gosh, I could lower my
It's good for your cholesterol too?
Or good cholesterol in moderate beer intakes. Well, right there, Kris, man, I should start drinking more beer than I do. I mean, I drink at least typically 1 beer a day, a lot of times 2, and on occasion 3. And then on weekends, if I'm out socializing, it might be 4. But that's the whole weekend. At least on the weekdays, it's only 1 or 2. I'm working most of the time.
I don't know. I'd probably say 4 or 5 in a week.
Wow.
On non-podcasting weeks.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we drink 3, at least
usually.
3. On a show.
Usually.
So.
And not just a 12-ounce can. I mean, we're up to a quart right here.
That's right. So, so 1 beer a day is kind of good for you in a lot of ways. It says, but there have also been studies indicating that no level of alcohol consumption improves health. So there really isn't an amount of beer that you can drink per day that would actively be good for you. Okay, well, I'm going to go with their first statement. And for men, two drinks a day at 5%, 12-ounce bottles, cans, that equation, that's good for us. So if we stay in that limit, I think we're doing okay.
Well, I mean, Tina at Marker 48 said that she just drinks water that's been filtered through a brewery.
That's right.
That's genius.
Yeah, it's extra healthy. It's been filtered.
Genius. All right. Come on. There we go. Okay. Oh, here's where it gets like kind of serious, Denny.
Okay, let's get serious.
All right. Beer can also impact weight. I don't like that line. I don't. I don't.
It can.
No, alcohol. Alcohol itself has calories, but it's not acting alone. We're more likely to overeat when our inhibitions are lower. That's totally true, because every time I get done with this show, I go have a snack. And
have a pizza.
Yeah, well, maybe a couple of chips or something. And because alcohol is a toxin, your body's going to work to get rid of it. Oh, so it's burning calories. Your body's going to work to get rid of it first, and the other food in your system will take longer to digest. 1 beer after a long workout can also affect your... Jesus. 1 beer after a long work day can also affect your quality of sleep if it's close enough to bedtime.
Yeah.
Alcohol is a sedative, but it eventually wears off and can cause you to wake up during the middle of the night. Because of this, Moore recommends being selective about when you drink and setting parameters for yourself. Maybe that's, excuse me, maybe that's only drinking when you're with friends or a few times a week.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? You can set goals, set boundaries, parameters that you follow, whether it's, some people, some of my friends say during the work week, I don't drink if I have to go to work the next day. And that's one of the boundaries or parameters they put in place that keeps them from overdoing it. The problem I see with that is those same friends then, when Friday comes, they overdo it, right? Now it's 3 days straight of binge drinking to get that, make up for what they missed out on the week before. I don't think that's healthy either, right? It's all about balancing the, what you're doing and keeping it all in check. If all of a sudden, like I said, when I'm not feeling well, I don't drink. If something's going on, I make a choice not to drink that night so that I can be better prepared for the next day if I need to, or if I need to get up early or whatever. It's be flexible, do the right thing. Your body, after having, like last night, yesterday, I won't say last night, yesterday, it was Sunday. I went and did some yard work in the early part of the day, went and did some activities until about 2 o'clock. And then I thought, okay, 2 o'clock, I'm going to start drinking now. So I started drinking. Well, I drank that first beer in about 5 minutes because I was hot and I wanted to cool. It went down really easy. I drank the next beer in about, 15 minutes. And then I had one more beer that I kind of savored a little bit longer. Well, I got done with that third beer and I thought, well, you know what? I'm ready for a fourth. It's still early. Why not? But you know what? Instead of going for that fourth beer, knowing that even though my inhibitions are saying, go do it, Denny, you want it. You know you want it.
You've earned it, dude. Go get it.
It won't affect you. You're fine, man. You're fine. I chose to drink water instead. And you know what? It was probably the better choice.
Your body didn't hate you for it.
My body didn't hate it for me. It didn't have to work extra hard to break down that toxin in my liver. And in the end, I felt that I made the right choice. Even though at the immediate thing, I really wanted that other beer. But hey, I have willpower.
You're a damn machine, Denny.
Yeah. Okay, so here are these are my suggestions on how I, manage my beer intake and health when it comes to drinking. And these are just some of the things I do. And Kris, if you have some, you go ahead and add after I get done with mine. You can add your suggestions as well. But one thing is, for sure, reduce the number of beers per day. That's the biggest thing, right? And just now, again, it depends on if you're retired. If you're retired, then you know what? You might be able to drink more throughout the day. But if you're still working like Kris and I, I'm not retired yet. So I work, I'm active 12 hours before I get home. And then I start drinking, right?
Yeah.
I can't be drinking. If I come home at 6 o'clock and I'm pounding 4 beers from that until I go to bed, there's a problem, right? I need to reduce the number, right? So just keep in mind that, balance it out. Don't just go ahead and shotgun those 3 beers just to get that, to shake off that horrible day you had, right? Have one, enjoy it, savor it. Don't just suck it down. Like yesterday, I made a mistake. I usually don't just suck down beers in, 5 minutes or less. I usually savor them. But this beer right here, that Sierra Nevada Summerfest, it just goes down so easy that I can't help myself sometimes. Okay. Also, as I already mentioned in the article, drink beers with lower ABV if you're having more than 1 or 2. If you're going to have, if you want to have 2 beers in an evening, go ahead and lower that ABV. There's beers out there that taste good that are 4.5% or 4.6 if it's marker light, or, right around the 5%. Keep the ABV low so your body's not, working that extra alcohol. And if you do decide to have a big beer, then only have one, right? Have one 9% beer. Not like we're doing tonight. This is a special occasion. We're recording a craft beer podcast, so we have to kind of indulge ourselves a little bit. One night every 2 weeks, right? One night every 2 weeks, we indulge ourselves. Hey, one of the things I have been doing a lot this year and last year, especially after we did a lot of shows on non-alcoholic beer and how non-alcoholic beer has really stepped up its game, and actually a lot of them are actually tasting decent, is go ahead and slip an NA beer in to satisfy that beer flavor without the alcohol. Yes. Yeah. Is it going to add calories to you? Yes, it will add some calories, but a lot less than a regular beer. And you're not adding alcohol into your body, so your body's not fighting off that toxin. So I have NA beers in my fridge, and when I just want that beer flavor, I just go grab one of those and I drink that instead, and it really does help.
Well, it's funny because you and I were talking about that before we started our live feed, is that, I'm currently editing our video from our show,
Partake.
205 with Partake from with Ted, what was his name? Ted Fleming.
Wow. And what a callback.
Denny, I'm editing the show right now. Well, not literally right now, but his name was up there. But his name was on the show and on the screen. But I mean, and for non-alcoholic beers, they put out some really good stuff. And I believe you guys were able to get them up in Boise, right?
No, we're not able to get them in Boise, but we did get them on Amazon.
Okay.
So you can buy them on Amazon, and we picked them up when we went to Oregon. So believe it or not, when we drive through Oregon, we can pick them up and bring them back, and then we can order them through Amazon.
Okay. Well, I know my Florida folks, I mean, I've seen them here in the Tampa, Brandon area. So, I mean, if anybody's interested in checking out some non-alcoholic stuff, Partake Brewing, you can get their stuff. I saw it at Total Wine and More, so you can get their stuff there. So, definitely some options out there, and they are surprisingly good for non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And the Deschutes Blackbeet Porter is really good for if you want a dark ale. Really good beer as well. And they actually agreed to go into full partnership or do. There's a recent article in the last few weeks that talked about Deschutes is bringing on they're upping that whole NA Blackbeet Porter was like a trial, and it was so popular that they decided to go ahead and incorporate that into their normal brew thing. So I think they've done some kind of a partnership with the company that they worked with to mass produce the non-alcoholic Blackbeet Porter, which would be great because that's a really good beer. When drinking, add healthier snacks to satisfy that urge to eat. That's one thing that can really help, right? When you lose that inhibition, when you're drinking, you lose that inhibition, you want something quick and easy. What do you go for? You go for chips, right? You go for that pizza. You go for things that maybe aren't the best for your body. Instead, go grab those carrots or cucumbers or, some kind of chickpea. We eat a lot of baked chickpeas. Great crunchy snack that gives that urge of something snacky like, but is really healthier for you than eating some fried Doritos or whatever. Right?
But the Doritos are so good.
Of course, they're all good, but adding healthier snacks when you have that urge definitely helps, right? It will help you not bloat up and add that extra tire around your midsection.
Yeah, that's fair.
Talking about that tire around your midsection, don't forget to exercise. Add exercise to your normal daily routine. Even if it's just walking, burn off some of those calories, get the heart pumping, your blood pumping through. Kris just mentioned that he's, started his workout routine as well. It helps not only with your body and your blood flow and your metabolism burning things off, also your brain, your mind, right? Exercise helps your mind and puts you in a better place. Just adding that extra exercise. So don't forget to exercise. And last thing I have to say is, overall, if you can't do the other things that I suggested, at the bare minimum, and this is the first thing I did 15 years ago when I realized that my metabolism started slowing down and I can't eat and drink as much as I did when I was younger, is go ahead and reduce your food carbohydrate intake to balance out the beer, right? Beer is a carbohydrate, sugar, a simple sugar that's going to just turn into fat, right? Carbohydrates are just fat. It's just a big name for things that are going to turn into fat. Or
well, if you don't use
sugar.
them, they turn into
If
fat if you
them.
don't use them.
Yeah, yeah. So reduce the extra stuff that you don't have to, if you can't burn it all off, then reduce the ones that you don't need, right? Don't eat as much bread, other simple carbohydrates, and then you can still maintain your beer intake without, adding extra weight. And that helped me along for years and years. I just removed most breads from my diet, and guess what? I could keep drinking all I wanted and not gain the weight. So, but I don't recommend that. I recommend a more balanced approach. Don't do what I do. Just learn from my mistakes. But yeah, those are my suggestions. You have any suggestions, Kris?
I mean, it's like I said in the beginning of the article, just moderation.
Yeah, moderation.
And that's with everything. Just do it in moderation. And if you're gonna have those days, like you and I made the joke of like, hey, we get on here every couple of weeks and we have at least 3 beers. Yeah, we do. We certainly do. But we're not having 3 beers every day.
No.
And especially when it comes down to beers like this Giant Jones that we had, we don't get that ever. We don't get an 8.99% beer every day and then go, okay, well, I'm going to start out with this one, and then I'm going to have this 9% beer, and then I'm going to chase it with something else. Now, we might have a beer or two throughout the day, one beer or whatever. Just don't go crazy with it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Okay. Moderation, that's the key. And low alcohol when you can.
You know what? And the low alcohol option too. I don't know how many times I've heard people recently, I guess in the past 6 to 12 months, whether I've been at a beer event or I've been around people in the craft beer community or industry where they talk about, they're like, yeah, we get to try all these amazing beers and we get to drink this and drink that. And everybody in the beer industry, I'm sure they are just getting tapped out on big stuff. Or if they're getting to try these, hey, we brewed this 7% whatever, and we brewed this 6% whatever. We keep going back to Marker 48. When I met Tina at that beer event a couple of months ago, all the brewers, everybody who was pouring for other breweries and things like that, they were all drinking like the Marker Light. They were drinking a 4% beer, a 5% beer, because man, after a while, you just want some good flavored, doesn't have to be high in alcohol.
Yeah.
Because man, that'll just wreck you for the day.
Yeah. 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 That's what I hear most, is that most brewers are drinking lighter beers for their go-to beers, because they enjoy the beer, but they don't need the extra alcohol.
Or just beer flavored beers.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't need the extra hops too, right? I love hops, but that's the other thing for me, is finding a balance, because even though every beginning of every year I say I'm going to drink less IPAs, you know what? It doesn't happen, because I still need to balance out. Even if I drink a lot of these Summerfest, I still have to go and get IPAs, which I haven't opened it yet, but Mother Earth Brewing, this Heavy Cloud Hazy IPA is perfect for countering out. Look at you.
This is my backup.
Yeah, countering out some of those malty characters, because you can't just drink malts like malty beers all the time either, because you get oversaturated sometimes with that too. You need to throw in a hoppy beer just to rebalance your system. So I drink two lagers and I drink a hoppy beer just to kind of balance it back out, and I'm happy. I'm in a happy place. So, okay. Well, we carried that on way too long. I thought we were going to have a short show, Kris. I didn't say it.
I know.
I thought it. But we're going to go ahead and move on to our new and noteworthy beers. So, Kris, why don't you go ahead and talk about your new and noteworthy beers?
Hang on, I'm commenting on something on Facebook right now.
Oh, come on, man.
No, it's to one of our listeners.
Oh, okay. Well, on that
Crap,
note,
I forgot what I was going to type, but you go ahead and restart yours.
Okay, well, I'm going to pour this Heavy Cloud, Mother Earth Heavy Cloud IPA.
No, I'm not. I'm not pouring the day donkey. I'm not day donking. It's nighttime.
It's okay. I've been talking about, about holding back, and on this show I can't hold back because I just enjoy. I need to balance out some of that. But this is a lighter one. It's only shoot, I can't find the ABV. It's only 6.
Oh yeah, it's a lighter one. Yeah.
It's only 6.8.
If it's under 7 or 8, it's always a lighter one.
Okay, Kris. So you want me to go with my new and worthy? I'll start because I had 3 beers. 2 of them are 5 cap ratings. I had a great.
Damn it! I gotta follow that.
Time off. Yeah. So the first one I'm going to talk about. Guess what? Jim Dandy beer. No, I didn't.
No way.
I did not visit Jim Dandy beer. My daughter didn't bring me Jim Dandy beer. She hasn't brought me Jim Dandy beer in 3 visits.
Jesus, Haley.
I'm thinking about disowning her. No, my good friend Corey's son went there to run in a triathlon, and he went to school there, same school my daughter went to, and loves Jim Dandy beers as well, and knows. And I've brought back beers for him. He brought back 2 beers for me from Jim Dandy that I hadn't had before. The beer I'm going to talk about tonight is called Elmer, and it's a coffee brown ale. And keep in mind, coffee can be really strong, like a strong flavor adjunct, and brown ales can be kind of a more weaker, like a less flavorful beer style sometimes, right? And you add those 2 together, you think, oh my gosh, this beer is going to be all coffee, no brown ale, right? Wrong. Jim Dandy nailed this coffee brown ale perfectly enough for me to give a 5 cap rating at how damn good this beer is. And here's what I had to say on Untapped. Another fine gift from Joe Petty, my buddy who brought this beer down to me. The aroma has a very pleasant and welcoming light roast coffee that falls into the flavor, blending well with the sweet brown sugar and fleshy nut flavor. Fantastic beer that melds the style and adjunct perfectly. Great beer, 5 cap rating. I cannot stress enough, Davis, you did an amazing job at blending these 2 flavors into both bringing out everything good in that light roast coffee and everything good in a good brown ale. And I absolutely love this beer. So kudos to you. Well done.
That would be a fun collaboration. Marker 48 and Jim Dandy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be good. We should do that.
And we should go to both brew days.
Yeah, we should. We should be the ones that are the intermediate between the 2 breweries.
Well,
to bring them together, right? Okay. All right. The next beer, another 5 cap rating from Mother Earth Brewing. I just talked about this beer, Heavy Cloud. It's not this beer. It's another beer. It's part of their Project X series. You guys know how much I love their Project X stuff. This one's called Headcase. Not only did it have cool can art, but it actually is a fantastic hazy IPA. I said, wow, this beer is fantastic. I've enjoyed all the Project X beers, but this one is extra good. The hops work well together and really provide a whirlwind of flavors. Mother Earth, you get an A+ on this one. 5 out of 5 caps. Just incredible blending of tropical, citrus, ripe, juicy fruits, and a really well done, no hop burn, just smooth, easy drinking. Just I bought a 4-pack of this, and I have 1 left. And I almost brought it on the show tonight, but I thought, you know what? I don't need another big beer to drink with the show that we already had a 8.9%. But really good beer. bravo to you, Mother Earth Brewing, for Headcase. Great IPA. And my last beer that I'll be talking about is another. Oh shoot! I just clicked something.
Oh, I thought you were a professional.
Yeah, it is another beer from my Easter basket from my wife, from Mortalis Brewing out of New York. This is the Amarok. It's a pastry sour, so right up the Florida Vice area there. It said, for one, oh yeah, by the way, this beer is butt ugly. I poured it in a glass and it looked like hell. If I would have seen it before, I mean, it just looked horrible. It looked like it was just rotten fruit. And there's a picture on my Untapped if you want to see it. I said, for one, this beer is butt ugly and not very appetizing looking. I said that on my Untapped. Smells like a punch bowl with some fizzy soda. So you know how you have like punch
punch bowl, yeah,
with a punch bowl, yeah.
Put a little bit of sherbet in it too.
Yeah, it smelled just like that, exactly. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Lots of different ripe fruit with a slight tartness. There is some sweetness there to knock down the sour and tastes great. I gave a 4.5 cap rating, only because it did come across a little bit sweet, but it had a great, it did balance out that tartness really well too, and it was butt ugly. I guess you can't have a pretty beer and a fruit punch bowl as well. But those are my new and northerly beers, Kris. How about you? What are your new and northerly beers?
Well, the beers that I had, one was from a brewery called If I Brewed the World.
Okay.
I don't even know where they're out of. Something tells me that they are here in Florida, but I'm not 100% sure. But it was their Beery Crunch. It's an American pale wheat beer. Yeah, they're in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh.
And it was like having Captain Crunch berries. Very good and balanced with a wheat beer. Okay. It was a little on the sweet side, not overwhelming, not cloying and coat your entire palate. It was refreshing, a little fruity, got some maltiness from the grains in there too. And man, it was just an all-around good beer. I gave that one a 4.2 cap rating. I bought it on a whim from no other than Gasparilla Pizzeria and Growlers when I was there the other day. And then the other beer that I had on my list was from Barriehaus Beer Company right here in Tampa, Florida.
I love
also,
yeah.
And you know what? It caught me off guard, and I decided to have it just because of the name. It was called a Lousy Lager. And I went, all right, I'll have the Lousy Lager. It was I gave it a 4 cap rating for the beer, but just nice and crisp and lighter. And admittedly, I had some downtime in between leaving work, running an errand, and I went, I've got like an hour and a half to kill. I'll run over there. I'll grab a beer and a slice of pizza. And that's what I did. I had a Lousy Lager and a slice of mushroom pizza. And man, it was just a great way to kill an hour and a half. Not only that, but, I got to see Chance and Miguel over there and just kind of goof off with those guys, and had my dogs there with me. So, playing with them out on the patio. And yeah, it's a blessing and a curse that I go everywhere with my dogs.
Yeah. No. But hey, I'm glad to see Barriehaus is still producing some fantastic lagers. I'm still, last year you sent me 2 of their Oktoberfest, and I gave both of them 5 cap ratings. They were so good.
That's all they do, Denny. That's all they brew is lagers.
Yeah, really good. Okay, Kris, before my bladder bursts, let's go ahead and end this show. But before we end the show, I always want to give a chance for you to go ahead and raise a glass. So who would like to raise a glass to tonight?
I would love to raise a glass to my buddy Tim Johnson on May 4th when this show releases.
Okay.
May the 4th be with you also.
Wow.
This will be his 57th birthday.
Woo,
and Tim is who I get to go and grab lunch at, Tampa Bay Brewing Company with on a pretty regular basis. Buddy, cheers to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I hope we get to have a beer together really, really soon. And Denny, who would you like to raise a glass to?
Our Patreon toast tonight goes to my buddy Mike Blanchard. Cheers to you,
Cheers, Mike.
I need to message you. Maybe tomorrow I'll message you. I am coming to Oregon next week to help my mom move down from Portland down to Salem into a new assisted living place. And I'm hoping I can meet up with Mike and have a beer if he's still in town. He might be in Florida next week. I got to find out because I think he was coming to Florida.
Mike's your Navy buddy, right?
Yeah. So if he comes to Tampa, I'll have to hook you up.
Yeah. Mike, the first beer's on me, man.
All right. And my other toast goes to my buddy Alex Fuchs. Cheers to your marriage, my friend. I forgot to toast you last episode, or maybe it didn't happen last episode, or maybe I just didn't know. But cheers to you and your lovely wife. Many, many happy years. And of course, being a former serviceman, I want to raise my glass and thank all those who have served and are currently serving in the U.S. military services, protecting our freedoms. Thank you for your service, and may you come home safely to your families very soon. And Kris, why don't you go ahead and give a toast out to our sponsor?
Yes, our sponsor is Tin Tackers, the provider of sweet metal beer signs that will make your walls happy. Tin Tackers has a vast selection of embossed aluminum beer signs, perfect for your garage, home bar, or man cave. They have the biggest selection with the best prices. And they also have a mini Tacker of the Month club, a club just for craft beer lovers who collect tin tackers. It's a surprise in your mailbox every month. Go visit their website at tintackers.com and use the promo code TAPTHECRAFT at checkout to save 10% on your entire order and to let them know we sent you.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And they do have a new subscription service too that will add into the show.
Well,
to get it going.
Yeah. Well, mine got hung up, and mine's, let's see, there's my new mini one, this one right up there.
Look at you.
And then my Core 4 one over there.
Beautiful.
And of course, and my Marker 48 one's up there. But also, too, I didn't realize that McKenzie Brewing one.
Nice.
I got that one for Christmas last year, 2 years ago, also from Tin Tackers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So who knew we were shopping at Tin Tackers before they even sponsored our show?
Great. All right. Well, you can find the beers and links to the article mentioned in the show notes on the show post located at tapthecraft.com. And it is last call. It's time to bring the show to a close. We want to thank you for downloading and listening. We ask you to please tell a friend and, of course, subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And as a reminder, we release a new show every 2 weeks. Now go out there and spread the good word of craft beer.
Cheers.
Cheers.